Hello everyone. We wanted to create this training video for you as a scaled down version of the training sessions that we've been having for the new ZipForms submission process. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to create a new listing. As we've said multiple times, this process does not change. You still create and fill out all your documents like you typically would. I'm going to name the transaction, property address, client name, first name, last name. I'm doing a residential transaction. Very important and required step that you are using and applying the global templates. Required. This way you know 100% you are using the most current and up-to-date forms. Okay, your transaction has been created. Now you're going to come to the summary page and fill this out completely. It is required that you fill this out. So you're going to go section by section and fill out all the information. Listing, expiration, so on and so on. Fill everything out. As a reminder, since you are the listing agent, once you get a contract on this property, you must come back to the summary page and fill in all the purchase information as well for your purchase summary, as well as your buyer side information as well. It is a requirement that you fill that out. If there's more one agent, if there's a team, you would fill that out in here. First agent, second agent. 100% required is the summary page information. Same thing with the parties tab. We're just going to move right down along the top of the tabs. So you want to fill in all the parties of the transaction. Once you have all your parties filled out, just for training purposes, I'm not going to sit here and go through and fill out all the service providers and things of that nature. They're pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to move on to my documents. Now I'm going to write my listing agreement. As you remember that this is a new layout for you guys. Everything is in folders, just trying to keep it a little cleaner. So I'm going to write my initial listing. So I'm going to go into the initial listing package, my exclusive right to sell. We're fill out all the necessary information. I'm going to pretend that we already did all that. I'm ready to send it out to everyone for signatures so we can get it completed. So with that, you can do your typical e-sign as you always do. I'm sending out a new package. I'm getting my documents for my initial listing package, selecting all the documents that apply that I need to send out. I'm using DocuSign. Now remember the return folder. You want to return it to your executed listing documents. So that is placed under your initial listing package, executed listing documents. And you can double check that. Just go through your process. You're using DocuSign. Everything is returning back to this folder. If you need to add something from outside that you have saved on your computer, you can do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to select all my parties that need to sign. I'm going to send that out for signature. As you already know, with using DocuSign, all the library forms, they will automatically place all the signature and initial boxes for you. Any PDF documents, you have to drag and drop those signature and initial boxes yourself. I do have a PDF in here, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that. Get those placed, and then we're going to send that out. And there's your confirmation that it has been sent. So while we're waiting on the executed document to come back from all parties, just a reminder about the history tab. If you ever need to go back and reference something and you can't remember when you sent something or when you added something or when something was completed, this is a full list from the very beginning when it starts, when you first start the transaction. It shows you it was created. It created the archive for you automatically, the archive folder, excuse me. I applied the template, I updated values, and I sent out the package for execution. So it gives you a full history of every step of the way. So, and not only that, you guys remember when you're using DocuSign, you automatically get those emails to let you know that the package has been viewed, it has been sent, and it has been completed. So that way you know when it's completed and signed and ready for you guys to come back in here and submit your documents for review. So you can look at that under the history. You can look that under e-sign as well to let you know. As you can see, my signature package has been completed. So now let's go back to our document so we can submit it to the admin team for review. So I went into my initial listing package, and remember I told it to return to the executed listing documents. And as you can see, everything is in there that I sent out, along with the summary page, of course. So now I'm ready to submit this to the admins for review. So I want the admins to review everything that's in this folder. So you can select the entire folder, or remember, you can do individual documents. If for some reason there was documents in there that the admins don't really need to review and approve, you can individually check them off. Oops, I clicked on the document, sorry. Uncheck the box or recheck them. I need them to review everything because this is my complete package. So I'm going to hit the approval. And remember the review stages. You have to apply your review stage. We are in the listing review stage. So you have everything selected. I am applying my listing review stage. And when I hit apply, it will automatically send this to the admins for review. And you know it has been submitted because you can see now in the bottom right-hand corner, the stamp is now yellow. So that's how you know it's been submitted and it needs review on the admin side. So I got email notification that my package has been approved. So you can see when you come back in, we are now green here, went from yellow to a green, and it auto applied the buyer side template. So now you have all of the necessary forms and documents in here if you need to write an offer on your listing, and that would be under the buyer agency package. You will find all the necessary documents in there. If you receive an offer from the outside, you would upload that into your offer folder because this is just working as a storage place for you. As you can see, I've created folders because I've received 2 offers so far. And you can do that by clicking add folder because now I just received a 3rd offer. And then you can open the folder and then you can add the offer that you received. Oops, I clicked the wrong buttons. My apologies. Add document, browse for document, locate the offer. Okay, and it uploads for you. So this is just really a storage place for you. So that way you have everything in one location and it's not spread out all over the place. So now you have all of your offers. Well, now you've reached the point of one of these offers have been selected. So now you are ratified. Everybody has signed off, you're ratified. So now we need to get that into the system. So now remember, if you wrote the offer and you did everything electronically, when you sent it out for e-signature, you could have told it to return to the executed contract folder, the ratified sales contract folder. If it came from an outside agent, then you would just come in here, select your ratified sales contract folder, and then click on the placeholder and upload your contract. So now you have the entire package uploaded, everything is there. So remember, don't forget about the summary page. You need to come back to the summary page and fill in all the details of the contract. So you want to come down and fill out all the information. And I'm just going to pick random dates just for training purposes to move it along. Remember, just make sure you're filling out everything completely. So you got your purchase summary, and now you need to go to the buyer side and fill out that information. And oops, fill that out. So that way you have everything now completely filled out on your summary page. Once you have that filled out, you will go back to your documents, go to your ratified sales contract. You can submit the whole folder, remember, or you can submit just the whole package itself, the one document. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that because I'm ready for them to review it. Now remember, we're now in the contract review stage. So select contract review stage, hit apply. You will now turn to yellow once submitted. So now you know it has been submitted to the admins for review. So I just got email notification that my contract package was approved. So I come back into my transaction and I can now see that my folder is now green. So now you have moved on. We've went through the entire contract package. All your inspections, so on and so on, has been completed, and yay, you've completed closing day. So then you would come into your settlement documents, and then you would upload a copy of your walkthrough, your commission check, and the ALTA and/or HUD. Now, if you don't receive it and it's mailed into the office or dropped in the office, the admins will take care of this, doing this for you. So now that we have everything uploaded, you got to walk through your ALTA and your commission check. I'm now going to submit it for review to let them know that it is ready for their final review. So we're going to request approval. So we're now in the closing review stage because we have closed, we've got the check, and we've got the ALTA. We're going to hit apply, and once again, the typical change to yellow. So you know it's now been submitted for review, and they will review the final documents. I just received email notification that my closing package has been approved, so I come back into my transaction and I can see that I am now green and it is all good to go. So now from this point, that's when the admins and accounting will take over. So they have approved your package. So now they will move on to the final steps. Now QC will take it from here. Once you see that a QC package has been placed to green, that means the final QC has been completed and it has been submitted to accounting for payment to you. Just a reminder that you guys don't have to do anything here. The admin team will take care of this packet, the final closing package. They will submit it. So I just got email notification that my closing package has been approved for agent payment. So that way you know that the QC has been completed and it has been sent to accounting for your payment. Just like before, you will still receive notification that your authenticated pay sheet is ready for review. So that completes the process from the listing side, completely from list to close. So as a reminder, any listing documentation or contract documentation, whether it be a listing extension or an extension for closing, etc., you must submit all those forms through ZipForms. So let's just run through an example real quick. Say I'm not going to create a new transaction. I'm just going to use the one that we've been using. So I need to create a listing extension. So I'm going to go in here, go to my listing addendum, fill out all the necessary information. We're going to extend a new listing. And then I'm going to send that out to my seller to sign. Since I'm doing it electronically, I want to select the return folder, and we're going to bring that into the listing amendment and/or addendums folder. Click done. I'm going to send it out. I'll send it to my seller for signature. Again, this process is still the same as far as creating those documents to send out. None of that changes. It's just your submission process. So all the fields are already there for me. I'm going to hit send. And we got confirmation that it was sent out. So I just got email notification that my document has been signed. So I come back in, seeing that it was completed here in the e-sign tab. So I'm going to go back into my document section. Go to your listing amendment and addendums, and you can see that it's there. So now you need to submit that for review. And this is still part of the listing review stage, so you need to submit it under listing review stage. Hit apply. And then your document has been submitted for approval. And there's your confirmation. It is now changed to yellow, and you know it has been submitted. So the admins have reviewed it. You just received your email saying that it was approved, and now you can see that it is green, that it is approved. So that's all you have to do there. Same thing goes for if you need to do an extension for your contract. We need to extend closing for some reason. So you would go into your buyer agency folder, find the appropriate form, complete the addendum, fill out all the necessary information, and go through those same processes. You would do e-sign, choose the folder that you want it returned to, and this would fall under the buyer amendments or addendums. Go through the same process as before with the listing addendum. So as I've said before, just keep in mind that all documents must be submitted through ZipForms. Whether it, again, be your initial listing package or your exclusive right to represent, contract, extensions, so on and so on. Everything must be submitted through your transaction. So we wrapped up everything here. I did a listing side example. So I'm going to run through real quick and do a buyer side transaction. Okay, so now we're going to do a buyer side. Like I said, new purchase, property address, name, template, data from the listing. Okay. Remember, again, on the summary page, you need to fill in all the required information. Offer date, or making an offer. 50. Later on. In there. So just remember, always fill out the summary page completely. Move on to your parties. It has the seller information already pre-populated because of the, we did the connect with the MLS. Buyer information, because I did not fill it out previously. All your parties, as just like we talked about on the listing side. Move on to your documents. Fill out your buyer agency, your right to represent, contract, any contract docs that go along with the offer. So we've completed all that. Now we're going to send it out to our clients to sign. Package, we're going to go into our buyer agency. I'm going to have them do the right to represent, my sales contract, and like I said, all the required forms for your offer. Now remember, you want to return it to the appropriate folder. So right now you're just writing an offer. So I would recommend that you choose it to return to the offer folder. Okay? Because right now it's just the initial offer. It has not been ratified. So I'm going to have it returned to the offer folder. Click next. Send it to the buyer to sign. So as always, remember, if you have a PDF document in here, you have to place the signature fields yourself. I don't remember if I included one or not. I did. So let's get our signature on there and send. and you get your confirmation that it was sent. So I just got email notification that the signed package is ready. So I came back in here and can see it has been completed. So if you go back to your documents, under the offers folder, you can see everything is in there that has been completed. So from this point, since you're just writing the offer, now you would go ahead and send it out to the other side, to the other agent to review and hopefully get ratified. So if your offer is accepted and you get ratified, that is when you would upload that fully executed ratified contract into this placeholder. So we're going to go ahead and click on the placeholder, browse for the document. This is my fully ratified contract. Click OK. And it has now been filled. So since you're fully ratified, remember you have to come back out to the summary page and fill in all of the buyer side information if you haven't already done so. Fill in your offer acceptance date, contract date, so on and so on. Any information that it was missing from previously, you need to come back out since now you are ratified and include that information. So you have your summary page updated, you have a fully ratified contract, and we're ready to submit. Again, same process, you can either click on the stamp here in the corner, select the checkbox, you can hit up here approval, or again in the little corner. We're in the contract review stage. So apply that stage, or make sure it's applied, hit apply, and once again, you can see the submission is complete and it is now yellow that it has been submitted to the admin team for review. I just received notification that my sales contract package was approved. So I came back in and I can see that it is now green, the actual package and the folder. So you would go through obviously the same steps as we covered in the listing phase. Once you go to settlement, you would come in, upload your settlement documents and submit for review. And then from there, as before, the admins and the team, once QC is complete, they will handle this process. The settlement documents is the only thing that you need to upload. Again, as said previously, if it's mailed or dropped into the office, the admins will take care of this for you, and you'll get email notifications along the way that it has been submitted. They have submitted the documents and approved the documents if nothing is missing. Okay, so again, like I was saying earlier, if you need to do an extension or unfortunately, if you ever have to do a contract release, same thing here. You go back into your supporting documents, to your buyer agency documents, find the necessary information, the form, complete as necessary, send out. And I'm completing a sales contract release, so you want it to return to that folder. Click done. Next. Send to my buyer to sign off. Or all parties involved once you get it signed back. Once you get a fully signed release back, and same goes for addendums or amendments, that is when you would submit it to the admin team for review. So I'm just going to keep this simple and move it along. You guys get the process of sending everything out via DocuSign. So I received my email notification stating that the release had been signed via DocuSign. Come back in. As you can see, the package is completed. You go back over to your documents, go to your release folder, and you can see that is in there. Now, right now, this is only signed on one side. So you wouldn't fill this bucket until that has been fully executed. You wouldn't fill this placeholder until it's been fully executed by all parties and you have a fully signed release. So for training purposes, I'm going to pretend this is fully signed. So you can do it of two ways. Once you get the fully signed release back, you can click on the placeholder and upload it from wherever you may have it saved. Okay? Or for training's sake, I'm going to say this is the fully executed release, and then I'm just going to drag and drop it into the placeholder. So I dragged and dropped by left clicking, holding the left mouse button down, and then drug it over to the placeholder. So now that it's done, now I'm going to submit it to the admin team for review. Remember your review stages. You have your different review stages. Release of contract review stage. So you apply that, and then it submits. Received my notification that it was approved, so I come back in, and as you can see, we are now green. And again, at any point in time, you can go back to your history tab, and you can see every step of the way since the very first time you created the transaction, from the very beginning, every step of the way, what has been done, what has been sent, what has been approved, what may not have been approved, so on and so on. So that is a quick overview of the buyer side of the transaction template. Process is pretty much the same as I stated in several times throughout this video. How you write your listings and contracts, all of that remain the same. You continue to do the process that you always have. The major change is making sure that you are completing fully the summary page, your parties tab, and of course, all your documents for the transaction, whether it be the listing side or the buyer side. And again, all forms are submitted directly through ZipForms, whether that be your listing agreement, addendums, amendments, releases, anything pertaining to the transaction has to be submitted through ZipForms. Now, with that being said, keep in mind the admins don't have to review everything. When I say that, like, they don't need to review and approve if you have like a well, information on well and septic or the covenants and restrictions and things of that nature. It is just the transactional based forms that you've always submitted for review. So I believe that covers it up for listing and the buyer side templates. I do want to touch base, which I haven't touched base throughout, is the checklist. And there is a checklist on each side, whether it be the listing side or the buyer side. So this checklist has been designed just to send you reminders that you need to either submit a document or you need to request an extension, things of that nature. So if you scroll down through each one, you can upload documents directly through this checklist because, as you can see, the documents are required. You can do that here. So when you start getting email notifications, you would come into your transaction and say, yes, I completed that. So for example, did you submit your final walkthrough? Yes, I completed that. Complete it. Was there any referral agreements? If there was, great, you can say completed. If it didn't apply, not applicable. Or otherwise, if you do not check these off, you will continue to receive email notifications that you have task overdue. Okay, so that is on the buyer side of the checklist. Just little friendly reminders just to help you along, like, oh, hey, did you remember to send in invoices or any changes? Was there a price reduction on the sales contract for some reason or another that you just send that to the attorney or the closing company? So they're just designed to help you out, just to help you remember things because we know you guys are busy. And the list looks the same on the listing side, or the contract, or the checklist looks the same. Obviously, different items on the list. If you go to the checklist, I just pulled back up my seller transaction. So the visual looks the same. However, the tasks are a little different. So you have your listing side. If you had any supporting documents, did you need those? Nope, I didn't have anything to go with it, so it's not applicable. Photography instructions. Hey, did you notify the admin if you scheduled a photographer, or did you schedule it yourself? If that has been done, you would just mark this task as completed or not applicable, whatever it may be. And then there's some seller touches throughout the process, so like 90 days in. I believe it's 90 days in. It's been a while since I've set this up. seller touch to reach out to obtain an extension for the listing. If your listing is expired, it reminds you to pick up the sign and lockbox. Are you going to have any open houses? So on and so on. Okay. So I believe that pretty much covers all the basic information or changes in submission process and along with these checklists for you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your managers. They're there for you. They will help you in any way they can. And if they're not available and you need something immediately, of course, feel free to reach out to the admins and they will assist you as best as possible. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.